New cartoon. The first episode you write is typically called the pilot script, and it's extremely important because it gives an audience and a business the first chance to see what your show is about. So are there guidelines for writing a pilot script? Is it different than a typical script? Well, stay tuned and find out. Hey there, welcome back to Surviving Animation, your guide to making it in the business of cartoons. My name is Eric Calderon. I've been away for a while, so thank you very much for your patience and sticking around. Before we get a little bit deeper into writing pilot scripts, I've got a couple things to say to you guys that I hope you don't mind. First of all, thank you, every single one of you, for supporting me. This little channel has recently passed 1,000 subscribers, so that is far more than I expected in the short time that I've been doing this. And I've gotten a lot of great feedback from every one of you about how this channel has helped you, whether you're a professional in the business who's been doing it for years, or if you're brand new and have no idea what you're doing. I really have been enjoying engaging with all of you guys in the comment sections, or in LinkedIn, or in Twitter, or wherever you manage to find me in social media to talk about cartoons. So again, I just want to say thank you to everyone. So it's been a real exciting adventure. I hope you enjoy the new set that I have here, and I'm going to be trying to be a little bit more consistent about putting up more information about cartoons, and I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, so let's get down to writing that pilot script. Before we begin, if this is your first time coming to the channel, please be kind and subscribe. Alright, let me start by saying that I don't claim to be any kind of master writer. I've written my share of scripts and have been credited on several shows, but the art of writing is something I do but can't confidently say I've mastered. Plus, I think doing a video focused on creative writing kind of takes this channel into a territory of education that I think is already pretty well covered. So instead, think of these tips as business basics that you might want to be aware of as you pursue the writing of a pilot script. These tips will be good for you primarily if you're the producer or original creator of a project, but I think they'll be helpful reminders if you happen to be a writer as well. Okay, let's get to the details. The first thing you need to know is that the guidelines for your pilot script are going to be dependent on the genre of the show and its target audience. Just like music or fashion, each particular genre has its understood set of rules. In this video, I'm going to cover 3 general genres and let you know the guidelines I think work for each, namely preschool educational, 6 to 11 general comedy, boys action sci-fi, adult or primetime comedy. Okay, preschool animation. In writing a pilot script for preschool, the first consideration is going to be making sure that your story clearly defines the kind of educational platform that you're going to present. For example, if your series is about mathematical skills, does your pilot script include a clear focus on math? Do characters actually do math? Or if you're presenting a show about social emotional growth, does your script have this concept built into its core? Or did you mistakenly get caught up in presenting so many dancing characters and songs that you forgot that your series is really about friendship and communication? Following this, the next most important thing for a preschool pilot script is whether or not you have presented it to a certified educator or child psychologist who can verify that your educational message is actually accurate to current educational standards or child psychology theory. For example, you might write a script that you believe helps teach children about geography or social science, but unless a professional in one of those fields actually reviews your work and writes a positive recommendation for your show, you can't certify that it does. Now let's move on to kids comedy, which is a bit easier, but also easy to miscalculate. For this category, I'd like to give 2 pieces of advice. First of all, funny is funny, and that's the most important thing above all else. Don't get caught up in telling a cleverly complex plot or introducing a cast of characters or trying to properly explain a new world if it doesn't head you towards funny. Everything should take second place to making the audience laugh, and this includes incredibly beautiful animation. I think funny is more important than beautiful when it comes to kids shows. Second, funny is age specific. So I always advise writers and producers targeting this age bracket to remember that shows have to be funny for 6-year-olds. It's cool if it's funny for grown-ups too, but that's the secondary mission, not the first. So although having some adult sensibilities are fulfilling for the team and can create a halo of additional audiences who love the series, they should never be there at the cost of losing what it is that makes kids laugh. I think both can be done, but to be honest, I tend to believe that the mistake is too often that scripts are written too adult when the promises of the show is for kids. Moving from kids comedy to kids action and science fiction, I have very mixed feelings about this area. Namely, because there are strong business forces in this arena that demand that these series serve the goal of advertising consumer products. In other words, toys. Now, I like toys. I have quite a few myself, But as a storyteller, I can't say I always enjoy working on these kinds of shows. But writing a pilot script for a CP-driven action or sci-fi show doesn't mean just being a slave to the toy bosses. I say keep this in mind. Just like our older live-action brethren, the most basic rule to remember for a new sci-fi or action pilot script is this: establish a world and a character in it in relative harmony. Then introduce the thing that pushes them out of their homeostasis and forces them into adventure. Without that, there's no story. And with no story, there's no show. And if there's no show, there's no toys to be advertised. Alright, let's finish with primetime or adult comedy. Now this one has the most parts, but in a way, it's actually the most traditional because it follows a structure also used with primetime live-action TV shows. Since it has the most parts, I'm going to breeze through them pretty quickly. If you need, feel free to rewatch to re-review. But also, since there's so much, I'm not going to go into great detail other than making the list. If you want to dive deeper, let's do it in the comments below. Okay, whether they do it consciously or not, primetime buyers and agents for that matter basically have the same 5 questions when they look at new shows. 1. What's our basic story engine? These fall into very distinct categories that are industry standard. They are police, hospital, occupational, family, or flyer. The only one that needs explanation is flyer, which refers to a show that doesn't fall into the other 4 categories. The understanding is that mass audiences can only really absorb a few of these per season, otherwise they get lost too much in the complexity of shows in the marketplace. So an agency might say, we can't sell any flyers until 2024, right now we need more hospital, and that's just the hard business truth. 2. Where is a place we haven't been before or haven't been in a while? Simply put, what's the location and time period for your show? Is it Chicago in the 70s? Is it deep space 500 years in the future? Is it a magical fantasy planet where all technology is medieval? You get the idea. 3. Who is your main character? What is his unique point of view? And who are the 7 to 10 additional characters that either support or oppose the main character's point of view? 4. Who the f*** are you? And why are you uniquely talented to tell this story? What is it about your resume, your life history, and who you are inherently as a talent that guarantees this series will be unique, authentic, and extend into 5 or more seasons because, to put it frankly, you just have that much to say about the subject matter. Oh yeah, one final thing. You have to be hilarious. 5. Who is the production company that will support you in executing this vision on time, on budget, and with a unique visual flair? Okay, that's it. I know that was a lot, but I hope it all made sense to you. Good luck to you out there writing pilot scripts. Alright, I hope you found some of that advice useful. Now before I finish this video, I want to let everyone know that I'll be attending the Ottawa International Animation Festival from September 26th to the 30th. So whether you are attending as a professional, part of the animation conference, or if you're just there to watch cartoons, come find me, say hello, tell me you watch my channel. I'll be very excited about that. But most importantly, on September 27th, which is a Thursday at 2:45, I'm going to be hosting the Pitch This final event, and I think that's going to be where the actual contestants who have been submitting new ideas to Ottawa are going to be pitching live in front of me and a bunch of other professional judges. The winner of that event is actually going to get $5,000, some Harmony licenses to help their productions, and also some free legal advice. So that is a pretty big deal. I'm very excited and nervous for the people who have been doing that, and actually on the Instagram channel for Ottawa, I've been posting a little bit of advice for those of you who've been watching the IGTV channel of the Ottawa Festival. Okay, that is it for today's episode. Again, thank you for hanging around for it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.